Hi there, Nick Dutch again. Just thought I would get myself back on topic, so to speak. As an occultist and spiritualist and a diviner, I understand that there are three separate worlds that we live in. Firstly, there's the mundane physical world, which is the world of you living your life, going to work, interacting with people, playing around on the internet, and that's it. The only thing that's real in that particular respect distinguishes your physical. The moment you become a prayerful person and you acknowledge the presence of a higher power working in your life, and you start to feel the power of that presence, then you're moving in a different world, okay? And that's the spiritual world. Then, if we think about the energy field of the body, which is used by the spiritual healers, alright, and when that comes out of your hands or operates through thought and thought transference, that's like an energetic level. Alright, there's also another world which is that of your emotions, which connects with your energetic level and can be influenced positively by the spiritual world. Okay? The reason that these are called worlds is just out of convention. I could quite easily call them departments, alright, but that would sound too civil service. So when I'm doing my later videos and I'm talking about contacting angels, contacting divine beings, summoning demons, and learning how to control and command them, what I'll be talking about then is a combination between the spiritual world, which is when you acknowledge the presence of God, you feel the presence of God working in your life, using that power to protect you, because that's like what's called a different frequency of energy. Some people call it. Again, that's a terminology thing. Is it natural frequency of energy? Is there a gauge that's been created to measure the energy of God? I don't think so. But this is an analogy, because that's the way it feels. Okay, that's the emotions, that's the thought, that's the sensation of the presence of a higher energy source. I will say this now, when you do start experimenting with different spiritual beings, be they God himself or herself, the angelic beings, the shades of the dead for mediumship contact. I mean, shades and spirits, they're difficult to define because different groups have a different terminology. I define them as unconscious spirits who react in accordance with habit, or they're conscious spirits who react and interact with you. Then there's the lower level, which is the demon world, and how you can interact with them. I'll only be giving you some of the information here. The rest will be appearing in the various books that I'll be publishing, which you can find on the Lulu Marketplace if you search for the author named Nick Dutch. That's D-U-T-C-H. It's important to be aware of these different worlds, because not only do different operations of magic become useful for different things and in different ways, but also the type of mood, thought, feeling, and the presence of consciousness that you have will also affect your success in being able to do anything supernaturally with these different varieties of entities. Some would even say that the energies of the runic spirits themselves are different yet again. But again, I have not detected any real hard and fast evidence of that. But we can hypothesize or steal that theory if we want to work with runic characters, runic scripts, runic symbols, and so on and so forth. Now, when I don't have it to hand now, but I was dipping into the New Testament recently, and I had a look at something in Revelations, and just within the first couple of chapters of Revelations, there's this phrase that comes just before the mention of a vision. And that phrase is, I was in spirit. I just want to very quickly mention what that actually means. It doesn't necessarily mean to say that on that one particular day, that one particular person was chosen by God to have a conversation with him. What it means is that he was going through all the stuff that's mentioned in the book of Corinthians, namely earnestly seeking spiritual gifts through prayer, meditation, worship, and reverent behavior, and contacting the higher power through meditative and trance-like states of mind, which this one particular person must have done for a long period of time. Because when you finally get there, when you finally get to the state whereby you feel the presence of God, you know, your entire brain, your entire mind, your entire body is different, so that you can incorporate and work with that particular form of energy. I'm sure I've mentioned somewhere in either my writings or in my videos the phenomenon of neuroplasticity, which is from the research of regular orthodox neuroscientists on people who do meditation, and it is statistically significantly proven that if you do meditation, different parts of your brain grow bigger than other parts. So a person who does meditation has a completely different brain structure to someone who doesn't. Alright, but you got to keep it up on a regular basis for up to, 3 months or over 3 months? Now, let's just try and change that argument just a little and say, instead of doing meditation, you are to do meditation and prayerful exercises. Because you'll be using words, ideas and concepts in your meditation and prayerful exercises, you will be encouraging the brain to grow in different ways yet again, because you've got cognitive and emotional concepts coming through that you're putting there essentially through your use of language, your use of visualization, your use of ideas, your use of concepts. Now, way back in 1994, when the Toronto Blessing suddenly started appearing, that appeared because the various Christians were praying continually for 3 hours every single day. They were in prayer, in meditation, in reverence, in worship for 3 hours every single day, no matter whether they had to go to work, they had to go shopping, they had to look after the kids, whatever. Now, I actually went to a church where they did the Toronto Blessing, and I seriously can tell you there is an effect there. And I experienced it. I learned what it felt like to have the anointing, the blessing, whatever it's called these days. You know, I mean, it seems to be real. I would seriously recommend to you, whether you're a pagan, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Jew, whether you're Islamic, whether you're Hindu, I don't care, whether you're, you follow Hare Krishna, go to a church which has the blessing. Tell them you're a Christian and ask to have the blessing done to you, because it's a mind-blowing experience, and you get the feeling that this feeling of energy is actually real. I would say that energy seems to work on the energy field level. It seems to work on the spiritual and higher conscious level as well. And it does seem to react to emotions, so you can enter into a state of ecstasy, sorry, it's called a fly there, or euphoria. And you can feel it again. That's how you re-invoke it. Alright? And then you can use it through prayer to direct it at a person to give them healing. Alright? And as far as, it's something you've got to play around with. It's something you've got to experience to get anywhere. But if you don't worry about it. Just do a hell of a lot of meditation, a hell of a lot of prayer. Use whatever God name or goddess name suits you. Use whatever portions of whatever forms of text you see fit. Just repeat it over and over and over again in a prayerful, reverent, celebratory manner, visualizing light above your head, and you will start to feel something different. Alright? It takes time, minimum 3 months for you to get any measurable changes in the shape, size, and functioning and structure of your brain. But it's going to happen. You need to earnestly seek these things in order to get results. I'll go into this in a greater detail in another video, when we'll just focus in on what types of prayer to use and how to make it work. But give it a go. It's divine. Seriously. Speak to you again soon.